Hi everyone, good night. Welcome again to Read2Me TT. It's been quite a few months now that we've all been home. So, especially to all the little ones with us, we want to say thank you so much for being the heroes that you are and for staying home, even though it means being away from your friends, and for keeping us all safe and staying safe with your families. Tonight, Jenny and I are going to be reading two books. One of them is from an indigenous tribe in Venezuela called the Hivi, and it was actually written in that language initially and then translated. And the second book is by Pauline Phillip, and it is a book that's illustrated by her granddaughter. So we'll tell you a little bit more about those books right before we read them. But my name is Felicia Chang, and I am the founder of a company that helps people to record their family stories, because sometimes the best place to find your stories is in your own family itself. And so we get to do that because we get to record like your grandparents and your parents, so that little people like you will have those stories forever. So, Jenny, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I work with individuals and families. I am what's called a therapist. That means we do some work with people and we help them to plan goals, to make their lives better, and to feel more wonderful. I am the owner of a company called Dolly and Associates Limited.
Awesome.
And I'm delighted to be here with you.
Yes, and so Jenny and I know each other now for a little while, and we got to actually work on their family story together for Frankie.
Yep.
So we're going to start with this lovely book. It's called Caliebirri, and it was written by Luis Blanco and illustrated by Alfredo Almeida. It was translated by Bunty O'Connor, who is a fellow Trinidadian, and designed by another Trinidadian, who is Kristen Chen. So Jenny and I will be reading it together, and I will begin.
Okay.
So this is the story of our peoples. This is how it starts. The story starts in the fine Hivi village of Kudaido, or Santa Rita as it's called today, where all the people were animals, because in the beginning, people were animals and the animals behaved like human beings.
All the animals hunted, worked, and lived just like everyone else, and the name of the chief of the village was Danto. And this is Danto.
Yeah, definitely looks like a chief. Amongst the inhabitants of the village, there was a character who was quite different from the others because he was nocturnal. While everyone was sleeping, he traveled far and wide and slept all through the day. His name was Kuchi Kuchi. He is fantastic.
So Kuchi Kuchi had to go to the mountains far, far away to look for fruit to eat because he did not have a garden of his own. On one of his nighttime adventures, he came upon a giant tree growing on a hill, covered with every kind of fruit. It was the Caliebirri tree, growing on the plateau of Roramio. And this is him finding it.
After eating a good breakfast of fruit from the tree, Kuchi Kuchi walked back to the village to sleep, his body reeking of the sweet fruits that he had been eating: pineapple, timar, poidu, and tupiro. Whatever has Kuchi Kuchi been eating? Asked all the animals, intrigued by the delicious smells. I've been eating the same thing as you, he said, but nobody believed him.
The animals in the village were very curious, and one day they decided to send someone to find out where Coochie Coochie was going. They chose Picure, the Tyra, to follow him. Although Picure was a clever, agile fellow, he failed to keep up with Coochie Coochie, who was very careful, covering his footprints and managing to throw Picure off his trail.
When they saw that Picure had lost track of Coochie Coochie, the community elected Opaje, the Lap, who could jump and swim, knew how to find his way underground, and most importantly, could see in the dark, just like Coochie Coochie. Oops, sorry.
Coochie Coochie tried lots of tricks to outsmart Lap on his way to Santeria to Vichada. He would leap from one tree branch to another to try to lose him, but when he looked down, there was Lap, waiting for him at the foot of the tree. When he reached the shores of the Orinoco River, past the place where it meets the mouth of the Vichada River, he came to a tree which was hung with long vines. And this is him.
Coochie Coochie grabbed one of the vines and with a mighty heave swung to the other side of the Orinoco. Quick as a wink, Lap dived into the river and swam across, arriving at the same time as Coochie Coochie on the opposite shore. And then, all at once, they could smell the delicious scent of the fruit of the Caliebirri tree.
Coochie Coochie was really annoyed when he saw that Lap had found him sitting in the tree. And Lap chose that moment to start teasing him. Just as Coochie Coochie was picking a pineapple from the tree, Lap shouted with all his might, "Drop it! Drop it!" And taken by surprise, Coochie Coochie let it fall. Lap caught the pineapple and ran away to hide it in a hole. Coochie Coochie was angry when he realized that he could not get into the hole, and he swore revenge on Lap. So this is Lap catching the pineapple.
Meanwhile, Lap had found a whole lot of fruit seeds lying at the foot of the Caliebirri tree. He picked up a palm frond and started to weave a basket in which to put the pineapple and the seeds for the journey back to the village. When he got back to Santa Rita, he presented himself to Chief Danto and said, "This is what Coochie Coochie has been eating, the fruit of an immense tree which grows on the other side of the Orinoco River. The Caliebirri tree bears all kinds of fruits." And you see Lap with his basket.
Coochie Coochie had to accept that he had been outsmarted, but he was so rude to Lap that Lap challenged him to a fight. In the midst of the battle, each one of them grabbed a firebrand, and Coochie Coochie scorched Lap on his sides and on each cheek, marking him with black. Lap, in turn, scorched Coochie Coochie on his hands and belly. And this is why today Coochie Coochie has no hair on his belly. So here they are in their fight.
When Lap and Coochie Coochie were nursing their battle wounds, the rest of the community went to find the Caliebirri tree. When they finally arrived, everyone was amazed at how huge the tree was. It was tall and thick, and it seemed to be as big as all the trees in the world put together, towering up into the clouds above.
Since Caliebirri enormous, it was very difficult to climb. And so the animals got together to try to figure out the best way to reach the fruit. They chose those who knew about trees: woodpecker, parakeet, parrot, and macaw. They chose them to fly up into the tree. Several of the animals made an attempt to push the tree down, but by midnight, exhausted by their efforts, they all fell asleep on the ground. The tree of all the fruit in the world was also magic, so that when the animals tried to cut it down, it would renew itself and in the morning look fresh and whole as if nothing at all had happened. So this is what the Caliebirri tree looked like.
Amazing. See all the fruit in it.
Yes.
And so when they had all tried everything they could think of, they turned to Matiri, the squirrel. Chief Danto spoke to him, saying, "Matiri, my friend, you are the only one who has not had a go at cutting down the tree. Can you try?" And so Matiri started chewing the trunk with his sharp, hard little teeth. But by midnight, he was also overwhelmed with tiredness. Since he didn't want to give up, he drank a cup of yopo tea to wake him up, and he was able to keep on working without giving in to sleep.
Materi had the good idea of calling on the Bachak Ant people, who were very well organized people, to do the work of picking up the wood chips and taking them away.
Matiri continued to chew through the trunk of the great tree, while the Bachak people took the wood chips to far places where they eventually transformed into rocks. Look at how amazing.
At dawn, the trunk of the Caliebirri tree began to crack and it started to sway from side to side. But something was keeping it from falling. Long vines that came snaking down from the clouds above. When Materi realized what was happening, he ran to the top of the tree to bite through to the vines. But when he had bitten through the last one, the tree gave a great lurch and came crashing down. Poor Materi did not have a chance to jump out of the tree, and he was pulled down with it. So this is the tree falling. Can you see? Yes, it's breaking, and all the animal people are below looking at it.
Yeah, and the vines. The Caliebirri tree fell near to a plateau where the hill rises up. Matiri, the squirrel, was crushed against the hillside, where the shape of his body was outlined forever.
When the tree fell, the animals started to eat the fruit, and there was a great party. They spent many months gorging themselves on every kind of fruit until there came a time when they had eaten almost everything. Then Danto said, "As we have finished up all the fruit, let us collect all the seeds and plant them everywhere so that we can have orchards of fruit forever." And this is what they did. So here you go, you see them planting all the seeds from the tree.
And this is why today we have every kind of fruit that grows upon the earth, because they all came from the Caliebirri tree once upon a time. And this is the whole tree. So you see it has all the bananas, the pineapple, and now we have all of those fruit, but they're no longer on one tree. Thanks, Jenny. So
No
we
problem.
have we have a short story now, very tiny one to share with you. And this is written by Pauline Phillip, and it is illustrated by her granddaughter, Dominique Phillip, who is the grand old age of 5 years old. So, Jenny, would you like to start that one?
Sure.
And it's called The Star That Fell.
And it is written by Pauline Phillip. So should I show them this?
Yeah, sure. The cover.
The cover. So let's see what the cover of this book looks like. I'm going to show you on my laptop. I think
You have to make it smaller so that it fits the whole screen.
Okay.
I can show it. You can.
Yeah. So will you show the pictures to me?
Yes, sure.
Great. Wonderful.
Okay.
So
This is it.
So here goes. Peter looked out of his window to see the sky afar. And what do you think he saw there? It was a shiny falling star. It fell into the dense green wood that stood behind his home. He wanted to go and find it there. He really thought he should. So he put on his coat and his valise and he headed out the door. He thought, this will be an adventure like I've never had before.
There you go. So you see Dom's excellent drawings. There's Peter and the falling star in the woods.
Continue.
The fallen. Yeah, you can continue. I can show the picture.
The fallen star wasn't hard to find, as it shone as bright as can be. So even deep in the leafy wood, it was very easy to see. I saw you fall, said Peter as he stood at the side of the star. You must be very tired, as you have come from very far. The star nodded slowly, and her silver lights twinkled and shone. I am, she answered sadly, but I wish to go back home. My brothers and sisters will worry. My mother will probably cry. So you see, it's the very first time I've left my place in the sky.
That looks like a very unhappy star.
It is. Maybe the trees can help you, said Peter, to get back to the sky. They have strong trunks and branches that sometimes reach very high. The trees nearby wave their branches. Peter, you are not alone. We'd be happy to help, said the largest, so the star can get back to her home. The tall trees used their branches to help them as Peter and the star climbed and climbed. Don't look down, Peter said to the shiny star, because we are up ever so high.
There are the giant trees and Peter. Okay.
When they came to the top of the tallest tree, Peter looked up at the sky. If I stretch out my arms as far as I can, he thought, I think I can just touch the sky. This is your home. I can feel it, he said. The star raised her eyes to the heavens and smiled as she saw all the lights. Yes, she cried in excitement. That's the place I have lived all my life. I cannot believe how I've missed it, how I've longed to be back in my place, to shine next to my brothers and sisters and feel their love on my face.
So there's the little star at the top of the trees, and they're all his little family.
Peter held the star high above his head. Reach for the sky, he called out. The trees also raised their branches and shook their leaves all about. I'm home, said the star with a twinkle as she took up her place in the sky. Thank you so much, little Peter. Thank you, trees, everyone. Goodbye. Peter waved to the star as he climbed down to the ground. He felt he would miss her for sure, but she was at home and was happy. He knew he could not ask for more.
So there's the star reunited with her brothers and sisters.
So he said goodbye to the trees in the wood. They would become good friends, this he knew. What an adventure this night had been. He could hardly believe it was true. As he climbed the stairs to his bedroom, he felt a bit sad it was done, but he knew he would always remember the star and how brightly she shone. He would look for her in the night sky every time that he could, and cherish the night he had met her, shining brightly in the heart of the wood.
There's Peter and the star, now with the family. And that's the end.
That's the end.
Thank you all for joining us. We are still in a bit of an unusual time, so we all need you to continue to be the superheroes that you are, and to keep us all safe. Remind your mom, your dad, your grandparents to wear their masks when they go out. Remember to wash your hands, don't touch your face, and to stay safe and to keep each other safe, like you've been doing a really excellent job at already.
Wonderful meeting you all and reading for you. Take good care of yourselves.
Okay. Bye, Jenny. Bye, everyone.
Bye.